On this webcast, we're going to talk about the difference between marketing and branding, a multi-pronged approach with your marketing strategy, and the number of steps that a buyer will take in order to buy your product. Let's go. Hi everybody, this is Antoine Dupont with Catapult Marketing, and this is webcast number 11. I don't know how you do 11 with your fingers, maybe like 1-1, right? Today I have Jody Johnson with ActionCOACH Team Sage. Hi Jody, how are you?
I'm great, Antoine. Thank you for asking.
Well, you're welcome. So, Jody, please introduce yourself to the hundreds of people, maybe thousands, maybe millions, who knows, who will watch this video. I mean, it's YouTube. You don't know, you know? You don't. The people are going to be watching this video today, and specifically tell them who you are, what you do, and why do you get up in the morning?
Well, as you said, my name is Jody. And how about if I start with why I get up in the morning? I get up every morning to create opportunities for people to step into their leadership, into their greatness, so that together we create a world that works for everyone. That's why I get up every morning.
Very cool.
And what I do, the way I get that done in the world, for the most part through my business, is by coaching business owners and their teams, facilitating workshops, speaking publicly.
Very cool. Very well said. So I get a good sense. So you're an amazing business coach. You care a lot about people, and you care a lot about growing their businesses. So that's really awesome. I got that. So today, I want to cover marketing with you. And I know that you deal with a lot of businesses, all types of size. Some are, fairly small, and I would say small, medium, and large. So I know you have an amazing perspective that a lot of people don't have when it comes to marketing. And this is really what I wanted to talk about, especially helping people figure out this marketing thing, like advertising and marketing and branding and sales for my company. So I think you would be an amazing sounding board for us to being able to figure out, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And what do you see out there that is good, bad, and ugly, right? So I know that you have three specific points, and we've talked about it before we recorded the call. Three specific things that we're going to be covering that is going to help every business owners out there. So the first one was something about confusion around marketing versus sales. So talk to me about that.
Okay, great. The difference between marketing and sales is that marketing is about communication and education. This is where your prospect or your customer is looking to connect with you. In small businesses, a lot of times these functions are collapsed because there's not a lot of team and a lot of resources to be able to go out and uncollapse them. But they're very distinct skill sets. And sales is about closing the sale.
It's about conversion.
It's about conversion. It's about credibility. It's about you've demonstrated enough value to me that I'm going to invest in you. In marketing, this is where you've got to communicate to people, who are you? What do you do? The world of your brand, however small or large your brand is.
Right. And
that people have the sense of connecting.
Right. And that's one of the
that brand.
And that's one of the problems that we have with us. I mean, we're a marketing firm, and oftentimes we have that conversation with people where they're like, what we need. They're looking at the conversion, like they're looking at. It makes sense. I totally get it. Like you're investing $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month. You want to measure it, against sales that are coming in, and that's really what we're doing. But marketing is really about Well, it's about, being in front of people, and it's not the sales conversion. It's putting it in front of enough people that are going to recognize your brand, and especially it takes time. And I think that that's one of the things I would add to is that people usually don't have patience with marketing. The patience they need to have.
No. Well, the great late J. Conrad Levinson said, that a lot of times people will go in and they'll do marketing and they'll pull the plug just when it was going to work.
Right.
He talked about having the at least 21 to 28 touches where someone has been exposed to your marketing before they would be willing to actually go in and purchase. The first 4, 5, 6, 7 times, they might not have even heard it or noticed it.
Or care.
And or it's not relevant to them in the moment, whatever it is. And then once they've had enough exposure, they've heard your name, they've heard the concept or the industry that you're in, and they are like, oh, I could see where that could apply to me and my business or maybe help me personally, that they'll be willing to buy from you.
Yeah.
But it's very, very distinct, the education that goes into making sure somebody understands who you are as a business, and also why should they trust you?
Right. So I'm going to add something to this because I think this is really brilliant, especially because I'm a digital marketing agency and I want everybody to really wrap their head around that. Facebook is 100% about marketing. It's all about putting your name in front of people. And the issue with people, and I've heard it enough time to have my head hurt, is they're saying, I tried Facebook and it didn't work because what they were thinking is I've invested $300 and I got nothing in return. And that's sales. That's not marketing. Marketing is about putting your brand, your name in front of people over and over and over again, and more often than your competitors. And in that respect, there's nothing better than Facebook, in my opinion.
Okay. And so what's important about what you just said, Antoine, about Facebook is that Facebook is a very important tool in certain business models. If you're looking at a high dollar sale, probably something on Facebook is not going to be the best way for you to convert someone, although it's a very important tool for exposure. So this is where I talk with my clients about having a multi-pronged approach. Most of them start out having maybe 2 or 3 ways that they go about getting clients, when really you probably want at least 10. And I had a client who had as many as 20 different marketing strategies that he was doing, because that multi-pronged approach is what has people get touched from this way and from that way. I'll give you for instance, we have a client that came in. He had seen us sponsor an event at the chamber. He had talked to somebody who was a client of ours. He'd gotten a marketing piece from us in the mail, and then he became a client. So the multi-pronged approach is a really important concept in businesses. And we don't say start out with 10 right off the bat. So get one in and running smoothly. If you're going to do a blog, do it consistently, and then add the next piece, and then add SEO, and then add, and so on, so that people have a number of different ways that they can be exposed to your company.
Right. Don't look for the magic bullet, which is actually what I wanted to do before we continue, because I think this is really important. So we talked about the point number 1, which is the confusion or the collapsing of marketing and sales, which are very distinct. So marketing is about exposing, putting your name out there, and sales is about the conversion. So marketing is bringing people and making the phone ring, in essence. So the phone, it's actually, now let me take that back. Marketing is about putting your brand in front of people 20, 25 times. Sales is when the phone rings and then they're there and they're interested, and then there's a conversion. It's two completely different things. Very distinct.
And they're different skill sets.
Different skill set. Two different people. There are people that are great at marketing that suck at sales, and vice versa. And so the second thing we wanted to talk about, which is the multi-prong approach, which is the second point that we wanted to have this video. And we started to talk about this, is that And I'll let you elaborate, but I'm seeing a lot of people that are looking for the magic bullet. What is the one thing that I'm going to do that is going to make the phone ring? What could I do? So I'm going to put all my eggs in the same basket. I'm going to put all my eggs in Google AdWords PPC, or I'm going to go all in on television, or I'm going to go all in this. And what you were talking about is this is not a wise strategy, and the wise strategy is to have a multi-prong approach. So talk to us about that.
Well, I think that it's important for, if there's a small business, and as you had mentioned earlier, I've worked with solopreneurs all the way up to a company that'll do in excess of 50 million this year. And so it depends on what stage you are in your business, and it also depends entirely on your business model. Mm-hmm. For instance, professional services businesses market very, very differently than retail. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? And even within an industry, like for instance with attorneys, somebody may go online to look for a criminal defense attorney because they got drunk driving or a ticket or something like that.
DUI, for example.
They're not necessarily going to go talk to their parent or to their colleague or an employee or mm-hmm. an employer or something like that, but they will go online to look for that. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're looking for a corporate transactional attorney, you're not going to look online. You're going to ask somebody else in business, who do you use, did you like them, and so on. So the world of a multi-pronged approach is do what's a natural, easy self-expression in the early days mm-hmm. and get that going. For me, when I was brand new in business, the best way for me to go out and get a client was to go to a networking event and talk to people.
Okay.
That's how I would market, and that's how I got clients.
Right. So that's the one prong. That's one prong.
Yeah. So that's one prong. But then over the years, you have your website and the blog and this public speaking, and you're going, no, you want to keep building. So even for somebody who's in professional services like I am or like you are, mm-hmm. there's a place where you're going to go even beyond those natural, easy things to do that are talking to people, and add in SEO mm-hmm. and other aspects of, so you'll build out a mm-hmm. multi-pronged approach. Now in retail, it doesn't make any sense to go out and do public speaking unless you have a product that can be spoken about that way, like right. One of my clients that sells engines, that's not really going to be like their first strategy. You know what I mean?
Right. If you have a tool like this, I have this tool and it's well, actually that's a calculator, but it's brand new and it's like nobody has ever seen it and it's like almost magical. Then yeah, you're going to a networking event because you want to see, you want to present it to people, but other than that, it doesn't make sense. So let me so people have a sense of we talked about the multi-prong and we touched on that. Do you have like could you rattle off like maybe your 10 or the one that you would say, okay, here if you're going to do 10, here are the top 10 you should consider, not necessarily in order, but they should be close by. What would you say they are?
Well, again, as I was saying, whichever industry you're in, whatever business model you have, they're going to be different. But I'll speak because I can speak very easily to this. In terms of professional services. Mm-hmm. I would belong to any association related to my industry that made sense. Mm-hmm. So whether it's a chamber or some other kind of an association where other people that could use my services, okay, I'd belong to that.
Cool.
The blogging, the LinkedIn, the website, which is really more a matter of your credibility. Perhaps you're driving traffic to your website, but the website can also strictly be a sales conversion tool. So it can be aspects of both. Mm-hmm. And then I would look at public speaking. For some businesses, trade shows are extremely important. My food distribution has to be at trade shows. Right. It doesn't make sense for them to not be at trade shows. That's mm-hmm. where they meet other possible vendors and clients mm-hmm. that they can work with. I think that signage is one of the things that, believe it or not, people don't really do all that well. So just having a great sign.
I had people walk in the door. I have great signs outside.
People can find you?
I know, and it worked, like
It's
imagine.
something that people overlook. They really do. They overlook how important in signage is.
Yeah.
And then, to drill down even a little bit further, Antoine, is that people don't realize that every single person on their team markets their business all day, every day, even when the business is closed.
Just
If you
talk more about
work,
this. What could they
okay,
do? What
if
did
you work at a business and you're at a party, let's say, and you're talking about your job, how you talk about your job and the place that you work is marketing that business. And people don't think about that.
Right.
Your spouse markets your business. Oh, my husband or my wife works here and it's a really great company. Or, but he's not happy. The boss is a jerk. Whatever people talk about, everything communicates about your business. This is why employee engagement is such an important aspect, that you have a great culture in your business and that the employees are actually engaged, because they're marketing you all the time.
Yeah.
The way the phone is answered, all of that is marketing.
Right. I have one that's actually, I'll add one, which is in the same in the same line, which is the email signature. That every single it actually is. It's a template, and each signature actually has a specific tagline at the bottom, which is a PS. So PS, did you know that? Or please read this, or go and watch this, which is promoting. So it's you plus every single employee for that quarter and that month that is sending hundreds of emails that are going out, which is actually has an opportunity for people to connect. And that's so easy. And it's a multi-pronged. And by the way, change that. And I receive email, and actually it's a pet peeve of mine. I receive emails with signature, and you're like, are you trying to make it easy for me to get a hold of you? I mean, there's no phone number. There is no, I mean, there's no information. It's kind of like, Bob. And then underneath it will say the name of the company, which I already know which company you're with. And it's like, dude, like, do a little bit of effort, like anything, like add your phone number, add your thing. Because if I try to call you, I don't have your phone number. So just make it easy. And then if you just have in your signature every single person, the next event you're promoting, the next product, the next service you promote, and change that on an ongoing basis. And then just tell everybody, okay, time to change your PS or your thing in your line. So it just changes, and people are getting used to that, and you'll get some click.
I was reading something from Bernadette Jiwa the other day, and the challenge that she had from her new book, Hunch, was to go in and to rewrite your about page. And the about page, she said she changed hers. I can't remember if it was 51 or 52 times. She's like, that's how important it is that you stay current, because you're evolving, your business is evolving, and your clients are evolving. And one of the other things that I didn't get in there when you were asking me about different things that were important to have, like you do SEO. So when a business idea or industry is new, like business coaching was, 12, 15 years ago, SEO probably wasn't going to help me very much.
No.
But as the business grows and the industry that you're in grows, it can be very important. And so you need to look at a marketing strategy that I always tell the clients, start with the low cost, no cost strategies first, and then build it out. And people often ask me, well, how much should my marketing budget be? And the traditional answer is somewhere between 5 and 10%. 7 being the ideal.
Did you hear that?
You're not spending too much.
5 to 7%. Now go and please take
5
a moment.
Hold on, let me finish that. Like we got that 11. Let me finish that, because it's 5 to 7% of gross sales, not your net profit. All right, so 5 to 7% of gross sales that is in the form of a plan. Like, what are you expecting to get from this? Because if you're looking to get people to go into a low-cost webinar or seminar or something like that, maybe you'll get marketing and sales conversion on Facebook. But that's not going to be the case if you're doing a high dollar value ticket, then they might come to you to find out more, but it's not going to convert right there on Facebook. So having a realistic understanding of what you can expect to get from those different marketing touches. I mean, I have people come up to me, even as recently as last week. Oh, I saw you speak at such and such an event 4 years ago. So I'm ready for you now.
Yeah, isn't
a lot
that
of it
amazing?
has to do with timing.
Talking about timing. So there are two things I want to add to this, and then I'm going to move on to the third point. The number one most visited page on your website, listen to that. The number one most visited on your website is the About page. And the consistently suckiest page that I see on website is the About page. It's absolutely dull and boring. It's crap. I mean, it's awful. It's unreadable. It's not interesting. It doesn't have any pictures, nothing. And it's a huge opportunity. So, if you do anything, go to your About Us page, and it needs to have a fun story of who you are. It has to have calls to action. It has to say why you do what you do. Right? So that's the thing. So that's that. The second thing is, based on what Jody just said, please take a moment today or right now as you're watching this video, go to your P&L and look at your marketing expense. I just did the math. If you're making $500,000 a year, you should be spending $35,000. Yeah, I said 35 grand on marketing. That's 7% of $500,000. So if your number is not anywhere close, but by the way, I know it's not, because I as a marketer, I deal with this all the time. And it's, most people are, 1, 2, 3%, at the most. They're not investing enough in marketing. They're not investing enough.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, but I agree with you. It's like, when you start, you need to look at what is it that is going to cost me the least amount of money and then give me the best return the fastest, because you're starting out. But once you're a seasoned business, you've been in business 3, 4, 5 years, then it starts to put some money into it. You need to put money into it and try things out. You got to try Facebook. You got to try a park bench, for God's sake, but try a bus thing, whatever it is, but try it out. Right? So that's really cool. All right. So that was point number one was collapsing marketing and sales. Point number 2 was the multi-pronged approach. And the third one, we're trying to wrap up. We're trying to do this within 10 minutes, and it's not happening, by the way, is the marketing steps, which is something you read about all the steps that a buyer goes through to make a decision about buying your products or services. And I thought this was fascinating. So talk to me about that, because I think it's the psychology of a buyer, and I think you need to understand that.
All right. Well, I'm going to just share with you the flow, the process that people go through when they consider buying your product or service. So the first time that a man looks at an advertisement, he doesn't even see it. The second time, he doesn't notice it. The third time, he's conscious of its existence. And the fourth time, he faintly remembers having seen it before. The fifth time, he may read it. The sixth time, he'll turn his nose up at it. Seventh time, he reads it through and says, "Oh, brother." The eighth time, here's that confounded thing again. The ninth time, he wonders if it amounts to anything. The 10th time, he asks his neighbor, "Have you tried it?" 11th time, he wonders how the advertiser makes it pay. And then the 12th time, he thinks, maybe this is a good thing. The 13th time, he thinks it might be worth trying. The 14th time, he wants such a thing and has wanted it for a long time. The 15th time, he remembers that the 15th time, he is tantalized because he cannot afford to buy it. The 16th time, he thinks he may buy it one day. 17th, he makes a memorandum to buy it. The 18th, he swears at his poverty. The 19th, he counts his money carefully. And the 20th time, he buys what is being offered. And why I love this is because it was written in 1885 by Thomas Smith in London. And I'm like, are you kidding? people still go through
Mm-hmm.
the buying process the same way.
We haven't
Where
changed
things
one
have
bit.
changed so much. What's changed is the vehicles in which we can reach people.
Mm-hmm.
But the buying process that a person goes through hasn't changed very much at all.
Exactly, it's the exact same process, and I think this is the
Yeah.
this is what you're talking is the 20 touch point. So I think it's
Yep.
brilliant because it kind of like wraps it up. So you have a multi-pronged approach, and let's just say you've identified 10 ways that you're going to be reaching out to people out there and promoting yourself with marketing and branding and all this thing, and you're going to have to touch people on average of 20 times. Now, obviously, this is a
At
story.
least 20
Yeah,
times.
at least 20 times. Obviously, this is a story, and it's the law of averages that you will have people that will buy your product. It always surprises me. They will buy your product in 4 touches, and you're like, whoa, what happened? This is by the way, this doesn't it's very rare, right? And when you've been in business in a long time, it happens once in a while. And you may have people that need 30, 40 touches, or you may have people that saw you 4 years ago and that may have had like 50 touches by that point from you. And then they're buying. The law of average is 20 times. And
Yeah.
whether you're in 1885 in London or 2017 in Miami or New York or Paris, France, it's the exact same thing. And I think
It's the
that
same
you need to
process.
understand that. But I think what's beautiful about this, and now I'm gonna talk as a digital marketer. Um, a business in 1885. Actually, I started my first business in 1995. And I can tell you that I don't even have to go back to 1885, but 1995, we didn't have email. We didn't have
Mm.
Facebook. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have LinkedIn. We didn't have website. We didn't have SEO. We didn't have none of these. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have videos. We didn't have none of this stuff. Like doing a
Right.
video for your business was like, the rich people did that. And now, you can go and create a video with your phone and publish it
Mhm.
on YouTube, and boom, here's a touch point. So that's really, really, really amazing thing. Like 1885. Where did you find this document? I need it. I want it. I'm
I'll do a
framing
little
it.
research. Well, I think, Antoine, the most important thing is that, and I learned this from Seth Godin,
Mm-hmm.
is to connect with the people that you're meant to serve. A lot of times, those of us in business, we want to, connect to everyone. We don't want to turn anybody away. And so our marketing and our products and service offerings become kind of mediocre and bland,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to actually really pinpointing, who am I meant to serve?
Who am I meant to serve?
And
This.
then have your marketing be written and delivered through the vehicles that those people you're meant to serve
Mm-hmm.
are most likely to be at. And of course, in marketing, because we have so many different ways that we can connect nowadays, is to be able to be mindful of having an expert to help you. Because for me personally, if I was going to go learn something like SEO or learn all the aspects that I need to know about making sure that my blog reaches the maximum number of people on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn, it's like I that's way beyond what's the best and highest use of Jody.
Mm-hmm.
So I really do believe that we need to have expert input, but to be clear as owners and marketing executives, if you're in a role like that, that you're clear about who are we meant to serve.
Right.
And then you go and design the messaging and
Wow.
then the vehicles with which you're going to deliver it.
Yeah, and it's really that's really good. Who are you meant to serve? And I think that every single business owner out there should write this on your whiteboard on a piece of paper and get an answer to that. Because I think it will make an
Yeah.
enormous difference for you and your business. Because once you get that clarity, then it's going to simplify everything. Because you're going to, and
Yep.
I'm going to actually quote Paul Dunn that says success is what you say no to. You should saying no more often than you're saying yes. You're saying yes to way too much stuff that is bogging you down. You are resentful about it. You're not charging enough money, and you should stop doing it immediately. Like, who are you meant to serve? Do that. Charge a decent wage that you feel comfortable with. You feel like you're doing the right thing, and that's that. So this is really awesome. I think it was an enormous amount of value for people out there. So thank you so much, Jody. Thank you.
That was my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this this webcast with me. Now, if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. Right below there, there's a little button. Please do it now. Yes, now. Click on it. Right? Take your mouse, click on it. If you want exclusive content that I only share with my subscribers, please go to my website, AntoineDupont.com. You should actually see the words right there, and sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter, it actually is free. The whopping price of free. Now it's time to hear from you. Which are the strategies from this video that you're going to implement first? Are you going to improve, the number of prongs that you have? What are you going to do? And please ask questions. I'm going to be monitoring this. And if there's a question for Jody, I will point it out to her and she'll come and answer your question. So please take a moment right now and ask a question. This is how we can actually help you out. You have an amazing coach with Jody, and you have an amazing internet marketer. We can actually point you in the right direction. And that's it. So thank you so much, Jody. It was great to have you.
My pleasure.
And I look forward to doing it again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.